Hey everyone, this is Steve from GamersNexus.net, and today we're looking at a Star Citizen benchmark. If you follow the channel, you already saw my benchmark course, which was effectively the Murray Racing Cup, where I flew around the circuit and sort of looked at various buildings and things like that to try and stress the GPU. And this is the actual benchmark results, which have been published on the website for a few days now, but I wanted to get it on the YouTube channel as well. So first of all, this is benchmarking the 0.9.2.2 alpha. Star Citizen's Arena Commander 1.0 just came out the other day. I've briefly tested it. I haven't done a full test, and it performs pretty similarly to the 0.9.2.2 alpha. So there haven't really been any major optimization changes yet. There have been a lot of changes. Don't get me wrong. They're not on the hardware level just yet. So Star Citizen will be a fairly complex game graphically once it ships. It is presently in such early alpha that you cannot apply this information to the game as it develops. So if you're looking at this 6 months from when the video was published, you need to look at one of our more recent benchmarks because this will no longer be relevant. As for the alpha in its current state, it performs really sort of okay on medium and low settings, but it doesn't do too great on very high because it has not been optimized for hardware yet, and Nvidia and AMD don't have drivers yet, and all these sorts of variables that come into effect and aren't accounted for in an alpha of a game. The GTX 980 performs at almost 60 FPS average on very high settings, so it struggles a little bit. And the 780 Ti is 46, 780 is 42, 290X is 37. So really, if you're trying to play on very high in the alpha, you'd need a pretty high-end card. I would not buy based on this data because it will change when the game is optimized, and you'll be able to buy a cheaper card most likely. All these things noted, the game performs much better in the Arena Commander dogfighting module and in the Hainer module. So it's doing the worst. The worst case scenario is the Murray Racing Cup, which is what you're looking at here, and that's why I tested it. And that's just because it has more models and objects and things to load and crazy stuff like that. A lot of the graphics options haven't been integrated yet, like PBR is sort of still being developed and things like that, so that is not accounted for in these tests. On medium, the GTX 980 does better. It's at 71 FPS, so that's very playable, and the GTX 780 Ti is performing well also, and so is the 780. The 290X doesn't do so hot. As for the low benchmark, it's basically playable on everything except 750 Ti, 270X, but I do think it will get there at some point. All this information provided, it's fairly playable right now on medium and low settings. You will probably not be able to play it on very high unless you've got high-end hardware. 1.0 makes some changes, but nothing major for optimization, and I'll be testing this game as it iterates. Every time there's a major optimization patch, I will publish a benchmark. That way you can check it out and see if it's doing what you need it to do for the hardware that you have. So that is all for this benchmark, and I will see you all next time. Peace.